Good morning, students. I am your English teacher in Vittal Matriculation School. Today, Monday, in last class, what we have seen? Yes, on Monday morning, in last class, we can seen right on Monday morning. Yes, all of you go through it. Then you have a test, right? You have to return today. Let me recall it first and we're going to see the another prose. The wind on hunted hill. Yes. On Monday morning. Glossary. Panting. Breathing quickly. Panting. Breathing quickly. Excursion. Exertion. Effort. Exertions. Effort. Aggravated, irritated, aggravated, irritated, snort. A cry made to show unhappiness. Snort. A cry made to show unhappiness. Anxiously, tensely, anxiously, tensely. Loop, curve, loop, curve. Then the wind on hunted hill. Students, are you all happy? Had your breakfast? Yes. Now, find the hidden words. Here, warm up they'll give. See the picture, students. Find the hidden words. In the pictures, one has been done for you. Find the hidden words in the pictures. One has been done for you here. They give cat, right? Here, cat is there. Yes, then see these pictures. Here, already they give cat, right? Here, see cord. C-O-R-D, cord. Then mirror. See, M-I-R-R-O-R, mirror. And tiles. Here, see, T-I-L-E-S, T-I-L-E-S. Then notebook, right? What they'll give? Textbook. Textbook. Yes. Okay. Solve these riddles. Here they give 4 riddles. First 3 I'll tell the answer. But last one is you have to find the answer. Okay. This is you have to find the answer. First, I have a face but no eyes, hands but no arms. Here I have a face but no eyes, hands but no arms. What it is? Who am I? I have a face but no eyes, no hands but no arms. What it is? It is clock. Clock. C-L-O-C-K. Clock have a round face, right? But no eyes, no hands, no arms also, right? I sit in a corner while traveling around the world. I'll sit in a corner while traveling around the world. Students, can you all see the letters? If it is the letter, in corner what they have pasted? Stamp, postal stamp. Postal stamp. I go up when rain comes down. I go up when rain comes down. If you have a rainy season, what we have used? Umbrella, yes. Umbrella. I have a head and a tail but no body. What is it? You have to find the answer. So you have to find and write here. And what is the answer? You have to tell to me, okay? Through the WhatsApp, you have to answer me. Then next, section 1. Reading. Listen to the teacher read this section. As you listen, underline the words or phrases that tell you what the wind does to the village. Write the names of the characters in this story. Here, 3 characters are there, right? Whose are there? Yes, here this prose have a 3 characters. Their names Usha and her brother Suresh and her neighbor Binya. 3 characters are there. Binya, Binya. Here let me read. You have to listen, okay? Who, cried the wind as it swept down from the Himalayan snows. I hurried over the hills and passes and hummed and moaned in the tall pines and deodars. On Hunter Hill, there was little to stop the wind, only a few stunned trees and bushes and the ruins of what had once been a small settlement. Ruins. It means, let me explain these 2 lines. First, students listen. Have you ever heard the sound of the wind? It sounds like hoo, hoo, hoo. Here, the author is telling about the Himalayan region full of snow. The author telling about Himalayan snows, right? Himalayan region full of snow, where we have tall pines and deodar trees. Tall pines and deodar trees. You can hear the sound over the hills. The author is describing a hill which he calls as Hunter. Hunter, as there were people in those areas some years back, but there is no one there. Now only a few trees and bushes. And on the slopes of the text hill, there was a small village. People kept large stones on their tin roofs to prevent them from blowing away. There was nearly always a wind in these parts. Even on sunny days, doors and windows rattled. Chimneys chalked. Clouds blew away. Clouds blew away. Here, let me explain this paragraph. He is telling about a hilly region where we can always see a small village on the slopes of the next hill. People kept some large stones on the tin roof so that they doesn't blow away. In those areas, whatever is the weather, sunny or cold, there is always wind blowing and doors and windows rattled, chimneys chalked and cloths which were hung on clothy hanger blew away. See, the Hunter Hill was so far the clouds are moved, right? So, 3 children stood beside a low stone wall. Here see, low stone wall is there. Spreading cloths out to dry. The 3 children are spreading cloths out to dry. On each garment they placed a rock. Even then, the cloths fluttered like flags and pennants. Here, let me explain. In that village, 3 children were drying their clothes, right? They kept a stone on each clothing so that it won't fly. But still, the cloths were fluttering. The clouds were fluttering. Then Usha, dark-haired and rose-cheeked, struggled with her grandfather's long loose shirt. Here, she is a Usha, dark-haired and rose-cheeked, struggled with her grandfather's long loose shirt. Yes, she was 11 or 12. She was 11 or 12. Her younger brother Suresh was doing his best to hold down a bedsheet while Binya, a slightly older girl, Usha's friend and neighbor, was handing them the cloths one at a time. One at a time. See, Suresh, the boy name is Suresh. The girl name is Binya. Let me explain. Yes, Usha was one of them. Okay, she had dark hair and rosy cheeks. She was struggling to hold her grandfather's long loose shirt, right? She was just 11 or 12 years old. She had a younger brother named Suresh who was holding the bedsheet. Right? Usha's friend and neighbor called Binya. She is Binya, who was older to Usha, was handing them clothes to dry. Then, once they were sure everything was on the wall, firmly held down by rocks, they climbed upon the flat stones and sat there for a while in the wind on the sun, staring across the fields at the ruins on Hunted Hill. Let me explain. See, finally they made sure that the cloths were held by rocks on the wall, right? After that, they sat on the flat stone just looking at the fields and the ruined Hunted Hill. Yes, here I must go to the bazaar today, said Usha. Here Usha told Binya and Suresh that she wanted to go to the bazaar or market. I wished I could come too, said Binya, but I have to help with the cows and the housework. Mother isn't well. Though what Binya said, though Binya wanted to accompany her, she said she could not as her mother was not well and she has to help in the household chores. So she called. I can come, said Suresh. He was always ready to visit the bazaar, which was 3 miles away on the other side of Hunted Hill. The side of Hunted Hill. Yes. Usha told Binya and Suresh that she wanted to go to bazaar and market, right? Though Binya wanted to accompany her, but that is not fair. Suresh was ready to go with Usha. The market was 3 miles away and on the other side of the Hunted Hill, right? No, you can't, said Usha. You must help grandfather chop wood. Their father was in the army, posted in a distant part of the country, and Suresh and his father were the only men in the house. Suresh was 8, chubby and almond-eyed. Std VIII. Yes, let me explain this. Usha said she could not take Suresh as he has to help his grandfather to cut some wood, right? Usha and Suresh's father was in the army, so only Suresh and his grandfather were the only men in the house. Suresh was younger and he was just 8 years old and was chubby and almond-shaped eyes. Then, won't you be afraid to come back alone? He asked. Why should I be afraid? There are ghosts on the hill. I know, but I will be back before it gets dark. Ghosts don't appear during the day. Are there many ghosts in the ruins? Asked Binya. See, Suresh was worried if she can come back alone from the market, right? Usha said, why she should be worried? Suresh replied that there are ghosts on the hill. Usha replied that she will be back before night and that ghosts will not appear during the day. Binya asked if there are any ghosts at the ruins. Yes, then grandfather says so. He says that many years ago, over 100 years ago, English people lived on the hill, but it was a bad spot, always getting struck by lightning, and they had to move to the next range and build another place. Let me explain. Usha told that her grandfather always told stories that many years ago there was a British people who lived. Yes, there. Yes, Usha told that her grandfather always told stories that many years ago there was a British people who lived on the hill, but that place was not safe as lightning often struck there. So those people changed to another area on the next range. Yes. See? But if they went away, why should there be any ghost? Because grandfather says during a terrible storm, one of the houses was hit by lightning and everyone in it was killed. Everyone, including the children. Were there many children? There were two of them, a brother and sister. Grandfather says he has seen them many times when he has passed through the ruins late at night. He has seen them playing in the moonlight. Wasn't he frightened? No, old people don't mind seeing ghosts. Yes, let me explain. Binya was still not satisfied. She asked if the people have moved away, then why would ghosts be there? Usha said that according to what grandfather said, everyone, even the children, were killed, hit by lightning in one of the houses. Then Binya asked if there were many children. According to grandfather, two siblings, a brother and a sister, used to play in the night and that he saw them many times. Binya was amazed and asked if Usha's grandfather was not afraid of ghosts. Usha said that old people did not have much fear. Old people did not have much fear. Then Usha set out on her walk to the bazaar at 2 in the afternoon. It was about an horse walk. Horse walk. She went through the fields, now turning yellow with flowering mustard, then along the saddle of the hill and up to the ruins. Let me explain. Usha started walking for the market at around 2 o'clock. She had to walk and hard to reach the market. She walked through the mustard fields, then through the ruins, right? Then the path went straight through the ruins. Usha knew it well. She had often taken it while going to the bazaar to do the weekly shopping or to see her auntie who lived in the town. Here, the road leads to the ruins. Usha knew that route well as she always went for weekly shopping to the market or her auntie's house through that route. Yes, while flowers grew in the crumbling walls, a wild plum tree grew straight out of the floor of what had once been a large hall. Yet its soft white blossoms had begun to fall. Lizards scuttled over the stones while a whistling thrush, its deep purple plumage glistening in the soft sunshine, sat in an empty window and sang its heart out. Let me explain. Yes, here what it's give, the path was full of wildflowers and a plum tree grew out of the hall of the ruins. She could see the lizards and purple-colored bird named whistling thrush swang. Then Usha sang to herself as she tripped lightly along the path. Soon she had left the ruins behind. The path dipped steeply down to the valley and the little town with its straggling bazaar. Here, Usha also enjoyed and sang tripping on the path a bit. Soon, she has crossed the ruins and reached the market town down in the valley. Yes, next. Valley means here path. Usha took her time in the bazaar. She bought soap and matches, spices and sugar. None of these things could be had in the village where there was no shop. And a new pipe stem for her grandfather's hookah, and an exercise book for Suresh to do his sums in. As an afterthought, she bought him some marbles. Then she went to a mochi's shop to have her mother's slippers repaired. The mochi was busy, so she left the slippers with him and said she had be back in half an hour. As Usha did her purchasing in the market, and she bought some soap, matchboxes, spices, sugar, and new pipe stem for her grandfather's hookah, and a math exercise book for Suresh. She even bought him some marbles. She went to cobbler to repair her mother's slippers. But the cobbler was busy, so he asked her to come after half an hour. She had 2 rupees. She had 2 rupees of her own saved up, and she used the money to buy herself a necklace of amber colored beads from an old Tibetan lady who sold charms. Who sold charms and trinkets from a tiny shop at the end of the bazaar. Tiny shop. Usha met her Auntie Lakshmi, who took her home for tea. She had saved 2 rupees for herself, which she used it to buy amber colored bead necklace, right, from a Tibetan lady. The lady had a shop at the end of the market, and she used to sell charms and trinkets, which is a small jewelry. Meanwhile, Usha met her auntie, who took her home to have some tea. Yes. Next, Usha spent an hour in Auntie Lakshmi's little flat above the shops, listening to her auntie talk about the ache in her left shoulder and the stiffness in her joints. She drank 2 cups of sweet hot tea, 2 cups of sweet hot tea, and when she looked out of the windows, she saw that dark clouds had gathered over the mountains. Here, Usha spent almost an hour listening to her auntie, who told her about all the ailments she has, like pain in left shoulder, stiffness in joints, etc. Right? She had 2 cups of tea, and when she looked out of the window, she could see black clouds. And Usha ran to the cobbler's and collected her mother's slippers. His shopping bag was full. She slung it over her shoulder and set out for the village. Usha ran to the cobbler and took her mother's slippers. His shopping bag was full, so she hanged it over the shoulder and started to for her village. Here, see this picture. She hanged it over the shoulder, right? Started for her village. Let me explain full passage now. You have to listen, okay? Yes. First, what are the characters are there? Usha, Suresh and Binya, right? Let me explain. Have you ever heard the sound of the wind? It sounds like hoo, hoo, hoo. Here, the author is telling about the Himalayan region full of snow, where we have tall pines and deodar trees. You can hear the sound over the hills. The author is describing a hill which he calls as haunted, as there were people in those areas some years back. But there is no one there, now only a few trees and bushes. Next, he is telling about a hilly region where we can always see a small village on the slopes of the next hill. People kept some large stones on the tin roof so that they doesn't blow away. In those areas, whatever is the weather, sunny or cold, there is always wind blowing and doors and windows rattled, chimneys chalked and cloths which were hung on cloth hanger blew away, right? In that village, 3 children were drying their clothes. They kept a stone on each clothing so that it won't fly, but still the cloths were fluttering. Usha was one of them. Usha was one of them. She had dark hair and rosy cheeks. She was struggling to hold her grandfather's long loose shirt. She was just 12 years old, 11 or 12 years old. Then she had a younger brother named Suresh who was holding the bedsheet. Usha's friend and neighbor called Binya, right, who was older to Usha, was handing them clothes to dry. Finally, they made sure that the cloths were held by rocks on the wall. After that, they sat on the flat stone just looking at the fields and the ruined hunted hill. Usha told Binya and Suresh that she wanted to go to the bazaar or market. Though Binya wanted to accompany her, she said she could not as her mother was not well and she has to help in the household chores. Suresh was ready to go with Usha. The market was 3 miles away and on the other side of the hunted hill. Usha said she could not take Suresh as he has to help his grandfather to cut some wood. Usha and Suresh father was in the Usha's and Suresh father was in the army. So only Suresh and his grandfather were the only men in the house. Suresh was younger and he was just 8 years old and was chubby and with almond-shaped eyes. Suresh was worried if she can come back alone from the market. Usha said why she should be worried. Suresh replied that there are ghosts on the hill. Usha replied that she will be back before night and that ghost will not appear during the day. Binya asked if there are any ghosts at the ruins. Usha told that her grandfather always told stories that many years ago there was a British people who lived on the hill, but the place was not safe as lightning of the struck there. So those people changed to another area on the next range. Then Binya was still not satisfied. She asked if the people have moved away, then why would ghosts be there? Usha said that according to what grandfather said, everyone, even the children, were killed hit by lightning in one of the houses. Lightning in the one of the houses. Yes, then according to grandfather, 2 siblings, a brother and a sister, used to play in the night and he saw them many times. He saw them many times. Usha said before that Binya was amazed and asked if Usha's grandfather was not afraid to ghost. Usha said that old people did not have much fear. That old people did not have much fear. Usha started walking for the market at around 2 p.m. She had to walk an hour to reach the market. She walked through the mustard fields, then through the ruins. The road leads to the ruins. Usha knew that route well, as she always went for weekly shopping to the market or her aunt's house through that route. The path was full of wildflowers, and a plum tree grew out of the hall of the ruins. She could see the lizards and a purple colored bird named whistling thrush sang. Usha also enjoyed and sang tripping on the path a bit. Soon she has crossed the ruins and reached the market town down in the valley. Usha did her purchasing in the market and she bought some soap, matchbox, spices, sugar and new pipe stem for her grandfather's hookah and a max exercise book for Suresh. She even bought him some marbles. She went to the cobbler to repair her mother's slippers, but the cobbler was busy. So he asked her to come after half an hour. She had saved 2 rupees for herself, which she used it to buy amber colored beads necklace from a Tipton lady. The lady had a shop at the end of the market and she used to sell charms and trinkets, which is a small jewelry. Meanwhile, Usha met her auntie who took her home to have some tea. Usha spent almost 1 hour listening to her auntie, who told her about all the ailments she has, like pain in left shoulder, stiffness in joints, etc. She had 2 cups of tea, and when she looked out of the window, she could see black clouds. Usha ran to the cobbler and took her mother's slippers. The shopping bag was full, so she hung it over the shoulder and started for her village. As students, are you all understood? This is the section 1. Now, let me read the glossary. Moaned. Make a long, low sound. Make a long, low sound. Hunted. Possessed. Hunted. Possessed. Ruins. Decayed, collapsed building or place. Decayed, collapsed building or place. Terrible, fearful, terrible, fearful. Saddle, low point on a ridge between 2 summits. Low point on a ridge between 2 summits. Crumbling, breaking apart into small pieces. Breaking apart into small pieces. Scuttled, ran with short quick steps. Ran with short quick steps. Whistling, thrush, a small singing bird. A small singing bird. Straggling, spreading out in different directions. Spreading out in different directions. Okay, students, you have to go through this passage again and you have to memorize the glossaries, and then next section 2 we have to see in the next class. Okay, so you have to go through this passage, and those who are not paid your fees, kindly you have to pay your fees and take your notebook. Okay, students, thank you. Have a meaningful Monday. Thank you. Keep safe at your home, okay?